Hey, Christoph here, another update from Wallet Scrutiny. I mocked up the idea we discussed of the code supply chain. So one of the things we have in some previous mockups on the website right now is that there's a lot of information and the user kind of has to figure out how it all fits together. For example, we have information whether it's reproducible or not here. And then above we have these social feedback, how people rated it in the App Store. And me as a user, I kind of have to piece it all together. And I think with general information, I think with star ratings, we're kind of used to it already. We know how to deal with these things. But there are other things like, who exactly builds the application with their keys? Can this be verified in some? Those are things that really only the security experts and tech experts are savvy with. And that's where we may need a simpler framework for users to work through all of this information. And so they don't just kind of look at stars and like, okay, cool, it has so many stars and 10,000 ratings, I'm cool with it. But they actually can have an easy way to dive deeper into this information. So here we go. Here's the code supply chain. So this is a framework, just like you would see in, let's say, Google Maps or Apple Maps. It's like it shows the path from developer. So the developer writes source code, it gets compiled, that binary gets distributed to many different people. Then it runs on operating system on devices. So that's kind of the path from developer up to you running this device yourself. And each one has its own particular security profile, attack vectors, and information that we can present. So at the top for the developer, maybe we just want to highlight who they are. Are they anonymous? Is it a person? Is it a team? Have an easy link to their website. Maybe they're identified as scammers or so, who knows? Maybe it's an abandoned project. A few things could go in here. Then source code, whether it's public or not, number of releases, since when, could be a helpful indicator. Maybe the user trusts a project with a longer history a bit further. This could also talk about potential dependencies and potentially also features. So if the source code does not include Bitcoin features or is custodial, then that could be pointed out here. Application build. So this is a big part of Wallet Scrutiny is the reproducible builds. This is where you can directly have all the information about the tests that were done, latest test results. We can expand this. We'll probably have to give a lot of users a bit more insight into what this means. Then the build application goes into distribution through Play Store, App Store, maybe other paths. If there is data available, like the number of stars and ratings and downloads, that's something that could be shown, along with other notes about attack vectors through this distribution mechanism, like auto updates that the developers can push, basically new code to your app, to your device at any time, and the problems potentially associated with that. With an operating system and device, operating system, if we know that something gets distributed to the Play Store, it obviously runs on Android. There could be some general notes in here, what to consider with Android. And then with the device, that's kind of tricky. If this is Wallet Scrutiny also reviews hardware wallets, so maybe this is a little bit more applicable to those types of reviews. But maybe there is something unique that can be said. Maybe there are some tips that we can give users around security of their devices and good practices. Not sure. But anyways, it kind of completes the whole supply chain as laid out here. I'm sure this can be broken out differently, but just looking at it this way, I feel like it provides a nice, simple, step-by-step sequence that works well to split up and organize all the information we want to show, and as a user is also fairly easy to look through. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Interested to hear your feedback. Thanks.